Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, glad you stopped by. Today, we're diving deep into something that's got the whole car world buzzing like a hive of bees on a summer day. The 2026 Toyota Stout. That's right, Toyota's bringing back this iconic compact pickup. And let me tell you, it's not just some random truck thrown together to fill a gap. This thing's shaping up to be a legit contender, a head-turner, and maybe even a game-changer in the pickup game. But here's the deal. Today, we're not messing around with engines or interiors. Not yet. We're zooming in on the part that hits you first, the exterior design, the face, the profile, the tail, every inch of what makes this truck look the way it does. So, if you're ready to geek out over some sleek lines and bold vibes, stick with me. Let's roll! Before we get too carried away though, we've got to set the stage. This isn't just a random revival, there's history here. So buckle up for a quick backstory, and then we're diving straight into the good stuff. Alright, let's rewind the clock a bit. The Toyota Stout isn't some shiny new name Toyota's pulling out of a hat. It's got roots, deep ones. This bad boy first hit the scene way back in 1954 over in Japan, designed as a no-nonsense workhorse for folks who needed to haul stuff without breaking the bank. Fast forward to 1964, and it made its big debut in the US, rolling onto American soil as Toyota's first real stab at the compact pickup market. Back then, it was all about function. Boxy, rugged, and built to last. Nothing fancy, just a truck that got the job done. Now, it didn't have the glitz of today's trucks, no touchscreen infotainment or leather seats, but it had character. That squared-off grille, those round headlights, the utilitarian vibe, it was a classic in its own right. Toyota kept it going in various forms through the decades, with the Stout name popping up in places like South Africa and Asia until around 2000, when it finally faded out. Replaced by heavy hitters like the Tacoma and Hilux, the Stout became, this forgotten gem, a footnote in Toyota's history. Until now. So why bring it back for 2026? Well, the compact pickup scene's heating up. Ford's got the Maverick, Hyundai's rocking the Santa Cruz, and Toyota's like, hold up, we've got something to say about this. But here's the kicker. They're not just slapping the Stout name on some boring box. Nope. They're giving it a full-on glow-up, starting with the exterior. And that's where we're headed next. The looks that could make this a legend all over again. Let's see if Toyota's delivering. Okay, here we go. The front end. This is where the 2026 Toyota Stout's gonna make its first impression. And if the rumors and renders are anything to go by, it's coming in hot. Let's start with the grille, because holy cow, this thing's gonna be a showstopper. Toyota's been all about big, bold grills lately. Just look at the Tundra or the Tacoma. The Stout? It's following that playbook, but with a twist. Picture a grille that's wide and in your face, stretching almost edge to edge across the front, but scaled down just enough to fit a compact pickup. We're talking horizontal slats, maybe 3 or 4 thick ones, stacked up like a fortress wall, probably with a matte black or gunmetal finish to keep it gritty. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not gonna be some over-the-top chrome monstrosity like you'd see on a pimped-out 90s truck. Toyota's smarter than that. They'll likely mix in some texture, maybe a honeycomb pattern or subtle ridges to give it depth. And right smack in the middle? That classic Toyota badge, proud and prominent, letting everyone know who's boss. This grille's not just for looks though, it's gotta pull double duty, sucking in air for whatever's under the hood, whether that's a hybrid or a turbo. Practicality meets attitude. Alright, let's slide up to the headlights, because these are gonna tie the whole front together. Full LED, that's a given in 2026. No cheap halogens here. The shape? Narrow and sharp, slicing across the top of the grille like a pair of eyes, sizing you up. Think Corolla Cross, or even the new Prius. Those sleek, predatory lines, but beefed up for a truck. Some renders show these cool L-shaped DRLs, daytime running lights, that hook around the edges, glowing bright white, or maybe even amber for that retro nod. It's futuristic, but not too sci-fi, you know? Imagine you're driving at night, and these LEDs light up the road ahead. Crisp, clean, and mean. Oh, and the hood. It's not just sitting there flat like a pancake. Renders suggest these raised, sculpted lines, like power bulges, running from the grille up to the windshield. Not crazy aggressive like a Dodge Ram, but enough to say, yeah, I've got some muscle. Maybe they'll even throw in a little air vent or scoop detail just for flair. And down below, a tough bumper, probably plastic with a skid plate. Vibe, tucking in some fog lights. Round LED pods maybe, for that off-road ready look, even if most Stouts never leave the pavement. Moving on to the side profile, this is where the Stout starts showing off its compact charm. Since it's likely built on Toyota's TNGA-K platform, you know, the same one under the RAV4 and Highlander, it's a unibody design, not your traditional body-on-frame truck like a Tacoma. What does that mean? Smoother, more flowing lines, instead of that chunky, bolted-together look. Think of it like an SUV that's been stretched into a pickup. Sleek, but still tough. From the side, the Stout's got this subtle curve running from the front fender all the way back to the tail. It's not flat or boring. It's dynamic, like the truck's in motion even when it's parked. The fenders? Slightly flared, just enough to hint at some rugged capability without going full monster truck. And the windows? Tall and narrow, with a sharp black trim line cutting across. Maybe a little tint to keep it stealthy. The glass slopes up toward the back, giving it this fastback vibe that screams modern Toyota. Now, let's talk wheels, because they're a huge part of the side story. Predictions say 17 or 18-inch alloys. Nothing too massive, since this is a compact truck. The designs floating around show multi-spoke patterns, maybe 5 or 6 thick spokes with a machined finish or a matte gray coating. Tough, rugged, but clean enough to roll through a city without looking out of place. Let's swing around to the back, the rear design. This is what people see when you're pulling away, so it's gotta leave a mark. First up, the taillights. LED all the way. Toyota's not skimping here. The shape? Probably a modern C or L pattern, wrapping around the corners like you see on the RAV4 or the new Camry. They're slim, sleek, and light up bright. Red glow by night, subtle by day. Some renders even toss in a little animation effect, like a sequential turn signal. Because, why not? It's 2026, let's have some fun. The bumper's rugged, but not over the top. Think textured black plastic, maybe a faux skid plate look to tie in with the front. It's not chromed out or fancy, just tough enough to take a bump or two. There might be a little step cut into it too, for hopping up into the bed. Super! Handy if you're loading stuff solo. And the tailgate we talked about? That big Toyota lettering is the star. Maybe with a handle that blends into the design, so it's not sticking out like a sore thumb. Now here's where it gets interesting. Some renders throw in a tiny spoiler lip on top of the tailgate. Not a wing or anything wild. Just a little flick to break up the lines and add some sporty flair. Imagine that in a sunset glow, casting a shadow that says, yeah, I'm different. Oh, and don't sleep on the details. A backup cameras, almost guaranteed, probably tucked right above the license plate. Maybe even a 360 view system if Toyota's feeling generous. And exhaust? If it's a hybrid, it'll be hidden, clean and discreet. If it's gas, maybe a single tip poking out on the right. Nothing loud, just enough to notice. Picture this parked at a tailgate party. Those taillights glowing, that a clean, simple rear just sitting there, looking cool. It's not trying too hard, but it's got presence. You're not disappearing into the crowd with this thing, that's for sure. So where's Toyota getting these ideas? The Stout's exterior feels like a mashup of their greatest hits. Take the RAV4's sleek curves, mix in the Tacoma's tough stance, and sprinkle some Corolla Cross sharpness. That's the recipe. It's not a full-on truck like the Tundra or a pure SUV. It's this hybrid of styles that fits the compact pickup vibe perfectly. Compared to the competition, the Ford Maverick's boxier, more old school. Think classic American truck shrunk down. The Hyundai Santa Cruz, it's wild, curvy, almost spaceship-like. And there you have it, folks. The 2026 Toyota Stout's exterior, dissected from nose to tail. We've covered the grille that grabs you, the side that flows, the rear that finishes strong. What do you think? Does this design have what it takes to rule the road? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear everything. Hit that like button. If you're hyped, subscribe if you're not already part of the crew, and smack that bell so you don't miss what's next. We've got more car goodness coming your way, so stick around. Until then, keep the revs up. Catch you in the next one.